so we've done lines of best fit and how to draw them, kind of, with scatter plots, all that kind of stuff. So we've already done those ones. These ones are going to give you the dots. Some of them they're going to give you the lines. Some of them they won't. Our job now is to find the equation of the line. We know that the equation of the line, like we talked about in Zoom, is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so that's what it's looking for, a formula, y equals something x plus or minus something else. We know that m is your slope, b is your intercept. That should be review. The main thing with this is, if you remember from the last video, I was always saying extend your lines. So make them longer than you need, because when you extend them, that's not giving you your intercept. You are already being told here, what is your y-intercept? That is right here. We know that it crosses y at 0, 8. If you look closely, that's exactly where it crosses there. So at 0, 8, it crosses. That is your intercept. So in your formula, you automatically know it's going to be plus 8 because it's a positive number. All we need to do now is find the slope. To find the slope, you have to take 2 points and you do your rise over your run. Well, if you already have your intercept, which you should always try and find first, now you have 1 point. All you need to do is find another point. Now, sometimes you can find a point that is on the line. So I know it's kind of hard to see. Some of your points, you might not have any points on lines. You can pick anywhere where it crosses. So what I typically do is I take this line and I'm going to find where does it cross at an intersection. Okay. And if I look, if I go straight down, it intersects right here at 1/2, 7. If I want to find an easier number, I'm going to keep going. This crosses right here at 1, 6. Now, I would say those are 2 whole numbers. I would rather use 1 than 1/2. And you now have it. When you find your rise over run, it's y minus y over x minus x. Your 2 coordinates we are using are 0, 8, and I would say use 1, 6. You could use whatever you want, really, else you're always going to get the same answer. First thing, make sure you know which ones are your x's, which ones are your y's. Okay, when you do that, then your first y would be 8. Your next y would be 6. If I use this as my first y, I need to use this as my first x. So 0 minus 1. Okay? And all you're going to do now is you're going to simplify. 8 minus 6, you get 2. 0 minus 1, you get negative 1. And 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. It's negative because the line of best fit is in the negative direction. Your slope will always be negative. So if you're confused if it's negative, is it positive, look what direction it's in. This is a negative sloping graph. So it will be a negative slope. Now all you're going to do is put it together. So y equals your m. This is m. Negative 2 x. And then is it plus or minus b? It's plus because it's a positive number. Plus your b is 8. Okay? That is the equation for your line of best fit there. This is easier because it's giving you a line. Sometimes below we're going to see it doesn't give you a line. So what I want you guys to do real quick is we're going to look at number 2. Okay, if I went too fast, you can always go back, rewatch it, pause it where you need. Number 2, you guys are going to kind of do this one on your own. So pause the video when I ask you to pause it, do the problem, check your work. First step, we need to get it into the format of y equals mx plus b. I need to find b, I need to find m. First step, go ahead, find your intercept. That's where it crosses the y-axis. Hopefully you have found your intercept. If I look, I'm looking, where does it cross here? It crosses exactly at 2. So my coordinate would be 0, 2. That means my intercept is going to be 2. It is positive, so it'll be plus 2. We know it's going to go somewhere. Now I need to find my slope. So I want you to go ahead, take this line and see, do you find anywhere else where you can say it pretty much crosses directly at? You're looking at exact intersection of these two lines. So where would it make a T? It's hard to see here, but somewhere where it's going to cross right at those 2 points. Hopefully you've paused that and found where it's going to cross. If you look, if I drag this line, I could say it's going to cross here at 2, 2.5. I could keep going and say it's going to cross here at 4, 3. You could go up more. It would cross at 6, 3.5. Keep going. But the main points that I'm going to use are this 4, 3 and 0, 2. Okay, because those don't have fractions in it in the event. I'm just finding any 2 points. If you have different points, it is okay if that's what you found. Go ahead, pause the video and find the slope using these 2 points. So y minus y over x minus x. If you haven't found the slope yet, make sure you pause because I'm going to go over the slope right now. I want you guys to actually try it on your own first. So when you do it, you do y minus y over x minus x. X, y. My first y I see, do a little different color for you guys to see, is 2. Minus beta xy is 3. Y minus y. My first x, 0 minus 4. All I'm going to do is simplify. 2 minus 3. Negative 1. 0 minus 4. Negative 4. Negative divided by a negative cancels. It would be 1/4. It's a positive sloping graph. It can be a fraction. That's perfectly okay if it's a fraction here. The slant is not as steep. It's a very low slanted line. So that's where you get your fraction from. And then when you plug it in, I will plug it in below. Y equals m is 1/4 x. Plus or minus b, it's plus because it's positive, plus 2. Hopefully you guys got that. Take a second, check over your work. Alright, for your next one, you are going to need something that is a straight edge. Just went and grabbed my ruler. Let's look at the bottom. It says, if you need this any longer, make sure you pause it so you can see it. It says, draw the line at best fit for the scatter plot and write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Same thing. The only difference is this time it is going to include what we did last time and what we did this time. So, first step, you need to draw your line at best fit. Now, if you look at this one right here, if I was to imagine a line going through, I would imagine a horizontal line. I don't know about you guys, but it just looks like they just go straight across, and it fluctuates very differently. So, with this one, I would say that is about where my line of best fit goes. Now, it's still a line even though it's straight across. There's still an equation for it. It is still showing that they are in a specific pattern, so it is a line of best fit. It is neither positive nor negative, okay? When a line goes straight across, there is no slope. Okay, so all you look for when you have a line that goes straight across is where does it cross your y-axis. So I'm looking where it crosses my y-axis. I would say it's right here, and that would be at 0, 6.5. You guys can't even see that. Okay, if it's at 0, 6.5, my equation of my line would be y equals, there's 0x, which would not be there, plus b, so it would be y equals 6.5. There's no x, there's no nothing. You could have y equals 0x plus 6.5, that's fine too. They are the same exact equation. That was a little different. That's why I wanted to go over this page instead of the other one, because this kind of problem is on here. It's easy to go over together. Alright, so let's look at number 2. This is where we're actually going to put some math into play, unlike number 1. So, first step, go ahead and draw your line of best fit on this graph. Okay. take a straight edge. Hopefully you have drawn it. If not, pause your video. I'm going to try and find something that it is going to go straight through. Now, a little tip for you guys. If you are drawing your own line of best fit, I always try and make it go through your y-axis on a whole number. So if you look, I could have went a little bit above, well, that's actually 3.5, but I could have went like not exactly. I tried to go exactly where it crosses one of those lines because that tells you exactly where your intercept is. So, if you look at this, this is crossing at 0,3.5. That is my intercept. Okay, your next thing is you need to go along and find where else does it cross. Okay, there's all these different numbers you can use. I put a bunch on here. You choose which two you're going to use to find your slope. I'm going to have you guys find your slope in just a second here. I added dots on here. That's okay. As long as it's on the line, you can add dots. Just don't add them if they're not on the line. I just put them so it's easier to see where it actually crosses. Now, if you're dealing with something that has a decimal in it, it's very easy to find something else that also has a decimal. You don't always have to use this one. You could use this 2,5 and 6,8 if you wanted to instead. You're still going to get the same slope, so it's up to you which method you want to use. You could use your first two. I don't like decimals very much, so I'm probably going to use the two without decimals if that's something you want to do. 2,5 and 6,8, those are the two that I will use to find our slope. So go ahead, pause the video because I'm going to keep going and actually find your slope. Hopefully you have found it. Remember, it's y minus y over x minus x, rise over run. My first y is 8. My second y is 5. My first x is 6. My second x is 2. So when you simplify this, 8 minus 5, you're going to get 3. 6 minus 2, you're going to get 4. It is a positive sloping graph. That means your intercept, or your slope, is 3/4. Your intercept is 3.5. Go ahead and put it in an equation. Hopefully you've done it. Y equals m, which is, this is m, 3/4 x, that's positive, there's no need to put a negative there. Your intercept is positive, so plus, and then your intercept is 3.5 or 3.5 or 7/2, whatever you would like to put for that. But that is how you're going to find the equation of a line of best fit. That means for a scatter plot, the equation that fits the scatter plot would be these equations. Yours might be slightly different if you drew your line differently. That's okay. As long as it's going along with your line. It shouldn't be too far off though. They should all be pretty similar just because you are making a line of best fit, meaning the equations are probably going to be very close, if not the exact same. Alright, I hope that helped a little bit. Made sense. That is our last topic we have to cover for this year. So we have done page 9 together. You guys are going to, sometime this week, do page 10. There are 4 problems, 2 that already have lines, 2 that you're going to draw lines. There is none that is straight across. They all have a slant. This one would be positive. This one would be negative. If you remember, we did do a negative one. The first one was a negative graph. Your slope is negative. Negative and positive just means what is the slope? Is it a positive or is it a negative slope? So have this one done. We're going to go over this one when we meet on Monday. I think that's it. So have a great week. Keep an eye out for Google Classroom. I'm going to be sending some stuff, some things that maybe you would be interested in doing. I would appreciate the participation in it. It makes it more fun for those of us that want to do it all. So the participation is great. And make sure you keep your videos on for your other classes. Alright, have a great day, guys. Bye.